Um, from the room, you seem very matter of fact about the trades that you're in. Like you never know if you're in a trade or not, or
Mhm.
it's just like you're very calm. Do you think that has come over time because you're just so confident about the probabilities, or have you constantly been working on that trait of yours to stay calm? Is it something that you just develop because now you just know what's happening on the chart, or were you actively working on staying calm?
No, I never, when you've been doing this for a long time, you've tried everything. And I've done psychology courses. I've talked with psychologists, like way back when it was fashionable in the 80s. And I think it's a crock of, I don't think it's helpful. And, what happens is you just, if you trade small enough, I always talk about trading the I don't care size. And that size obviously gets bigger the more money you have, right? But that's the key. You have to stay objective and calm and peaceful to consistently make money. And to do that, you're going to lose, regularly. Every day you're going to lose on some trades. But it can't be big enough that you start focusing on it. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I lost, 3 trades today, or 3 in a row or something. You got to be trading small enough so that you can just keep doing the right thing, trusting the math, trusting that if you consistently do the right thing, you're going to win. In football, American football, Tom Brady was really good at, comebacks. He had more comeback victories than any other team, fourth quarter comebacks. So he's losing the fourth quarter. He's not out there doing anything special. He's just, consistently doing what he does all game. And he's just trusting that if he's consistent at it, the math is going to work out. And if you're losing in a game and you start trying to do, 80-yard passes all the time, you're going to lose. But if instead you just keep doing what you've been doing consistently, you have a much better chance of winning. And same with trading. I remember I've come across guys, not recently, who tennis, sometimes some guys are just really easy to beat. They have some great shots, but if they start to mess up, they just start hitting harder and harder and harder, hoping that they'll blast it by me. And all they start doing is hitting it into the net or hitting it out, right? You just got to stay calm and just, consistently just try to play well and not try to do something that is a much lower probability, and the same with trading. Don't try to start to take a whole bunch of low probability trades to quickly make back what you lost, because you're just going to lose. They're low probability. You're going to lose more.
So would you say that it wasn't necessarily, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it wasn't necessarily working on your psychology that helped you, but it was the probabilities that guided you and just trusting doing the right thing every day, and that's what gave you this kind of level of certainty of the probabilities and the calm demeanor? Do you feel like it's more about the numbers and the probabilities for you?
It's the math.
It's the math.
The math cures the psychology stuff.
Right. So because I always thought that about you, that in every situation it's 40 to 60%, but you have 30 plus years of certainty that that if I do this over 30 years, I'm going to make money. So even with the uncertainty of each trade, you have the certainty of edge of the long term. And so it seems like that gives you this peace for every trade that you take.
Yeah, let me say, for those 10 years when I was losing, I was incredibly miserable. I can't tell you how stressed out I was and how frustrated I was and how angry I was at myself. And, I was so confused. It was just a miserable existence, especially those first few years. And how did I get rid of it? I just, started getting comfortable. Every day, at the end of every day, I print out charts. Well, now I don't print them out. Now I just draw on them every day. Richard, who runs my course website, he said, "Al, you keep making all these charts. Why don't you cut back?" I tell him, "I'm not going to cut back. That's my practice. I do it every day. I look for all the major patterns every day. And, and I've always done that, and I'm going to keep doing it because it keeps everything fresh. For example, today, I knew the odds were very high that we were going to break out one way or the other. right? I knew that because I regularly see this, and I look for it and I categorize it, and I create a chart and I save it in a file called trading range breakouts. Let me just see if I have. This is my encyclopedia of charts. So trading range day, TRD.
And Al, just for the record, you've been doing this for a lot longer than the encyclopedia has been around, right? Like you've been doing this as your daily practice for many, many years.
Since the 80s. Yeah, I used to print out the charts, and I used to have folders, and I had thousands of pieces of paper. And here, a trading range day with a late bull breakout. Trading range day with a late bull breakout. Trading range day with not so much of a breakout, but different ways to look at it, right? Trading range with a late bull breakout. So it's not like today did something that I've never seen before. I have lots of examples of it, right. And I have examples of bear breakout. That's why I do it. It's to keep, it's practice. So that if I see something, I quickly recognize it, and I immediately know what to do. A lot of times I'll look back at the slides in my encyclopedia to get a sense of probabilities. If the market breaks out at, with 2 hours left in the day, is that different from breaking out in the middle of the day? If it breaks out in the final 90 minutes, is it different? What happens? I say one other thing. I talked about how that bar with a big tail on it, that big breakout bar today.
Yeah.
Was a really special bar.
I remember there's an FOMC bar that has that, or that big tail on top.
Yeah, a couple of those. Yeah. But that's a good memory on your part.
I was in your room for a while, so.
That's not the one. I had a big tail on the bottom. But look at this.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Big bull bar, the big tail on top. This bar was a big bear bar briefly, and then it ended up closing back at the open. And you look at that bar and you say, wow, that's very different from all of this stuff. So it's a special bar.
Yeah.
So, you just know if you trade long enough, you see stuff. And, just like you're familiar with that bar, because I've shown it several times and you've probably looked at it on your own. I knew this bar was that kind of a bar. It's a heck of a lot bigger than all these other bars. I knew we were going to get a breakout, or that we probably would get a breakout. Some trading range days stay as a trading range day all day. You get about 2 of those a month that they stay very small and sideways, but most you get a breakout. And when you see a bar like that, you say, yeah, that's the kind of bar I want to see.